Yep. All right. So let's do this recap so far for the NFL, Aaron. And the first topic I want to talk about Deshaun Watson getting hurt with an unfortunate, with an Achilles. Something I wanted to touch on. We know that he's done for the year. First question I want to pose to you: is he done as a Cleveland Brown altogether?
I'm going to take that one step further. I don't just think he's done in Cleveland. I think he's done in the NFL. I really do. I
Yeah.
think his stint in Cleveland is showing teams what you're going to get with him. First, you have the off the field issues. Now you have the injuries on top of that. Is there anything that will keep this man on the field in being a leader for a locker room? I just don't see it, and I don't think any other teams will either. I think Cleveland cuts their losses, and I think they just. I mean, I get what they traded for him, but you're never going to get back what you gave for him. I believe right now you are in a position where if you are Cleveland, where you just got to cut your losses and move on. I believe that their record is bad enough where they could probably just try to draft somebody else and use a Jameis Winston to mentor him.
Yeah, I could see that. Speaking of Jameis Winston, and I don't know if you saw this or not, but when Deshaun Watson got down, got hurt, there were fans, Cleveland fans that were cheering or booing him, for getting hurt, and then there were other people that were chanting that he deserved getting hurt, and then Jameis Winston and other guys in the Cleveland, Cleveland sports like LeBron and others were saying that was uncalled for. Like that was, um, that was not, you know, a good thing for the Cleveland fans to do. What is your take on that? Do you think that Cleveland fans went too far there, or is it justified?
I I don't even think I don't even take it seriously. I'm going to be really honest with you because I do believe that it's the passion coming out in fans. I'm not saying it's justified, and I'm not saying it isn't. I'm saying that when you get to a certain point and you're passionate about a team, you're going to have sort of outbursts like that. I believe that it comes from a place of passion, not necessarily bloodthirstiness, unless you're Eagles fan, all bets are off. But I believe that the Cleveland fans, was it uncalled for? Maybe. But I believe it comes from a place of being passionate about the team, not necessarily a place of. Because I do believe those fans that did chant and were glad that he got hurt.
Hmm.
I believe that those were the fans that did not want him to go to Cleveland in the first place. And you also got to figure this again. They just had to watch their best wide receiver walk right out the door and into Buffalo. So there are a lot of the fans for Cleveland are already not in a good place anyway.
Hmm.
So
And we're gonna talk about that move here. Actually, good segue. So speaking of Amari Cooper and the Buffalo Bills, and all this is gonna be intertwined. We saw two moves happen last week: Devontae Adams to the New York Jets, and then literally a few hours after, Amari Cooper to the Bills. Um, do you think that Amari Cooper is needed more for the Bills, or do you think Jets needed Devontae Adams more?
I believe that Amari Cooper was needed more in Buffalo, and I'll tell you why. The Jets, it doesn't matter how many good players you put in New York, if you can't change the culture from a losing culture to a winning culture, and that starts with the front office and that starts with the coaching staff, you're going to have these same types of issues that they continue to have. Buffalo already has a winning culture, but they lost wide receivers like Gabe Davis. Now you've basically filled in that role with somebody who's even faster on Amari Cooper. I
Mhm.
believe that that's going to help Buffalo out in the future, and you saw how much it helped against Tennessee.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I feel like Amari Cooper, like Dallas, basically offloaded him to Cleveland because Cleveland was gonna take him, because they thought that they had something going with Deshaun. So Amari Cooper now, I feel like will that be enough, to match up with Kansas City? We'll see, and we'll talk about more about Kansas City up next. But like, I feel like the Bills, and I'm gonna say this, Aaron. I concede. You were right all along. I feel like, I foolishly thought that, Aaron Rodgers, being Aaron Rodgers, had a chance at winning the division with the Jets. Now, I think that it's all Buffalo. Do you think that with the with the Jets acquiring Devontae Adams, the Jets could maybe sneak into the playoffs at the 7th seed?
No. You have to change the culture. You've got this is what gets me. Washington had this problem when back in the day. They don't have it anymore. But Washington had this problem. The Jets have this problem now. All of these teams that put these players into their systems because they want to, quote, win now. If your culture is a losing culture, it takes time to change it to a winning culture. That is exactly what Detroit did, and look at them now. They just dropped the first loss in Minnesota all year long, and they are now first in their division due to the head-to-head matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you have to change the culture of the Jets franchise. Once you do that, I mean, you even got to the point where your quarterback somehow, it's rumored that your quarterback got your head coach fired. There are some clear problems here with the culture in the Jets locker room,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not going to be caused magically by bringing in another key player.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Aaron Rodgers basically last night, last night when they lost, he basically, his arrogant ass was like, we got to do two things. Number one, we got to block out the media. We got to block out you guys. I was like, damn, like, they are not the reason why you lost.
But he's just grasping at excuses.
Yeah. I mean, look, because the AFC, I don't know, man. Like, who could be those wild cards in the AFC? We know the NFC is loaded with.
They really are. I actually think we're going to see a similar situation. I think that we're going to see a similar situation where the AFC North drops 3 teams in the playoffs again. If that does not happen, then the Broncos will sneak in, and that's it.
Yeah, because I don't know. Like, okay, maybe 3 teams in the AFC North.
And if that doesn't happen, then you're going to have a team like the Broncos who sneak in.
All right, so
either the Broncos or the Bengals go in as a number 7.
Do you think the Bengals are finding their form back? And are you?
I do, and it's mostly because of T. Higgins.
Okay. Do you think that they'll do enough to win the division though, or just be a wild card team?
It all comes down to their second matchup with Baltimore. If Cincinnati wins that matchup, it's in play.
All right. So let's talk about the NFC a little bit about the. Well, let's close out the AFC with some AFC and NFC talk. We saw the Super Bowl rematch last night between the 49ers and Chiefs.
Stayed close until the fourth quarter, and then Cincy shut the door on them.
Yeah, the Chiefs.
Not Cincy, the Chiefs shut the door on them.
Yeah, I mean, look, Brock Purdy. This is proving my point that Brock Purdy is a system guy, and he needs all weapons on deck. Like he's not that guy to go after. Patrick Mahomes is that dude where he could throw to you, Aaron, and he'll make you look good. Brock Purdy doesn't make anyone look good. Like he needs, a Deebo Samuel. He needs a George Kittle. He needs a Christian McCaffrey. He needs those guys. Like,
oh yeah.
Like honestly, like again, I was telling Jason this, off screen, that if the 49ers go into the Sunday night matchup, banged up as bad as the Cowboys defense um, is it winnable? Probably not, but it's gonna be close with the way
I
that
think it's
Brock
going to be
Purdy.
a dogfight for both teams because
Mm,
right now, the Cowboys are depending on CeeDee Lamb to be their entire offense.
yeah, but again, we'll stay. I mean, they lost Brandon Ayuk uh, for the for the season with a torn ACL. The Chiefs have some injuries as well. I think they lost Juju Smith-Schuster to injury yesterday.
Yeah, and they
Um,
still don't have Rashid Rice.
well, Rashid Rice done for the year, torn
Yeah,
ACL.
yeah.
Who knows if Hollywood Brown is going to come back this season? Like the Chiefs, like
Well, and Hollywood Brown is on a 1-year contract anyway.
mhm.
So
Do you think the Chiefs should try to get into the receiver market? Maybe get some rando, maybe get someone from the Panthers who aren't even in contention anymore.
I would probably say so. Yeah, I think they're at the point right now because here's the thing: the Chiefs are now going to be in doubt in future years. Like, are our guys going to stay healthy?
Mhm.
Are our guys going to be able to stay healthy?
And here's the thing: Travis Kelsey's 36. Like
I
there's
feel
gonna
bad for
be
Mahomes
time,
once he retires.
father time.
Yeah,
Um, all right. So NFC North, and
especially in football right now.
yep. Do you think that this NFC North is good enough to send 4 teams to the playoffs?
Not 4, definitely 3. I think this is going to be a hot take here. I think in his rookie season, I think Caleb Williams will just miss the playoffs.
Okay. So you have the Bears missing the playoffs.
The Bears just barely missing. I think it's the Packers, the Lions, and the Vikings. All 3 would go.
All right. And who takes the division?
I'm gonna go with the Lions. I think you're right on the money for the Lions. I think, but the biggest thing is this: keep an eye out on the injury bug for the Lions as well, and also keep an eye out on the Thursday night matchup between the Vikings and Rams. Because can the Vikings bounce back off of a heartbreaking loss like that?
Mm. Um. Ooh. Okay. Another good question. With the 49ers potentially falling off, and like I said, we'll see what happens, against the Cowboys. But do you think that do you think the NFC West is actually the
It's
division for the
open.
Seahawks to actually take over?
I think it is. I think it is. I think you can't completely count out the Cardinals, believe it or not. But I
Mm.
think the Seahawks have it in the bag. The only reason I say don't count the Cardinals is they also play the Seahawks pretty dang hard.
I mean, look, my take on this is that for the Cardinals is, they're not that team. They can play teams scrappy.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they can beat the 49ers one week and then they can get blown out by the Commanders the next week. Like they're inconsistent.
Well, but same thing with the Seahawks. They can blow out the Falcons one week and lose to the Giants another.
That is true. But again, the NFC West is such an X factor, especially with the 49ers being all banged up,
If I can
Brock
be
Purdy
honest to
being
say,
fraud.
I think you're going to have a situation where the NFC North has 3 teams go. You're going to see, believe it or not, the Commanders probably win the East. You're going to see the Seahawks win the West, and you're going to see the Falcons win the South.
Okay, interesting take here. I still think Philly wins the division.
I just don't know because there's some inconsistencies as far as turnovers.
Uh,
And by the way, the only reason that I think that game against the Giants turned out as good as it did was because Barkley was looking for his revenge.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the Commanders again, like we stated, like and the game last week against the Ravens prove it. Like they can like when it comes to good teams or decent teams or playoff contenders. Um, yes, they'll go blow for blow, but it won't be enough. I
Actually,
feel
you know
like
what?
their defense is going to let them down, though.
I amend my statement. Actually, Philly could win, but it all depends on if Jaden Daniels gets back in the lineup
Okay.
because he is. I mean, he's solid the Washington offense.
Yeah. I mean, Marcus Mariota was decent yesterday, but ask him
He
to.
was able to build off of what Daniels had already done.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's the Panthers, for God's sake. It's the Panthers.
Yeah. All right. Let me see if there's any other chats. No.
Yeah, no, I'm looking in there, and J Sports was the last comment.
All right. Any other topics that I didn't cover or I could think of?
It's not just the injury bug for wide receivers. We're starting to see it with quarterbacks, too. Because not just Jaden Daniels, not just Deshaun Watson, but I'm pretty sure there's a couple others as well.
Yeah, I think so. Joe Flacco, after playing decent for the Colts, he's going to be back on the bench and letting Anthony Richardson come back in.
I want to see if he can actually throw, because I see him being somewhat like, gosh, this sounds awful, but I see him being like a fatter Michael Vick.
I feel like he's going to be like a Lamar Jackson 2.0 who actually can't throw. Like Lamar Jackson shut up every critic, showing that he could throw the football. But like I feel like Anthony Richardson is going to be that guy that can't, won't be able to prove that he can throw the football. That he's only good for running.
I'm saying fat Michael Vick. That's what I'm saying. Fat Michael Vick.
Fat Michael Vick. Okay.
That's what Richardson is. Um, and this is the same problem that Indy's going to have. They have weapons if they just have somebody who can throw them open. Alvin Cox, got, oh gosh, there's a whole bunch of them. I just can't remember all the names right now. You got Alvin Cox, you got I think you got Breland. Gosh, there's a bunch of them. I can't remember all the wide receivers' names for the Colts right now, but
Yeah.
and here's the thing: I wanted, as far as the AFC South, even with that loss to Green Bay, I still say that division is Houston's to win.
Yes. I'm very disappointed in the Jaguars and the way that they're playing.
So everybody thought, oh, they can win in England. They can win in England. They went up against Chicago in England, and they still got dropped.
Dude, here's the thing. This is proof that, and the only one that's playing up. Actually, no, there are two quarterbacks that are playing up to that contract. Like the ones from the ones that got paid this season, of course.
Yeah,
This offseason. Jared Goff and Jordan Love.
absolutely.
Everyone else, complete stinkers. Like,
Now, I think Jordan Love had to, yes, he got injured, but I think that sitting out for those couple of games where Malik Willis took over was the best thing that could happen to Jordan Love, because he saw what it would have been like without him, and he wanted to get back in and he wanted to do better.
granted, Malik Willis won the two games that he played.
But that's what I'm saying, though. He now knows, Jordan Love now knows that the Packers could win without him.
Yeah.
And it's for that reason and that reason alone that you're going to have a situation where he's going to work that much harder, because he's like, maybe I'm not completely needed as much as I thought I was, but maybe I can make them need me by playing well.
But alrighty. I think we covered everything that I could think of. Um, so that'll do it for this recap of the NFL so far. like I said, we try to do it as much as we can. Is just that Aaron hasn't, has missed a few streams because he's been dealing with personal things, and Jason doesn't know the NFL all that well and doesn't
Plus
feel.
starting 2 jobs as well.
Yeah, so we'll do it as much as we can. We're not doing it next Monday night. We'll probably do something different for Sunday Night Football next week if we end up streaming that game. Again, still trying to convince Jason.
Well, we don't need him. We could still do it anyways and just
That is
make
true.
make fun of him the whole time.
Facts. Yeah. So make sure you guys, like I said at the beginning, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channels. Follow us on TikTok. Support our PayPals. All those links are in the description. Till then, guys, have you guys a good rest of your evening. Good night.